Quest, I'll start the timer whenever you guys are ready.
You ready?
Good evening, everyone. I am Brianna Ventura Marcos. I go by she, her pronouns, and I am a rising second year majoring in chemistry. Use your own.
Hello, I'm Kwest Brian Poor. I go by he/him pronouns, and I'm an upcoming second year majoring in mechanical engineering.
We are running to be your next co-directors of public relations. Working as an intern for public relations, academic, and friendship games has helped me strengthen my leadership and communication skills. ASUCM digital team has also taught me how to work within certain guidelines to maintain a professional manner. With these positions, I was able to help plan events, create flyers, and take photos for said events. I learned the inner mechanics of each position, and this has helped me understand how cabinet works and how I need to adapt to this position. Aside from my current endeavors, I was president of the Filipino club at my high school. During my presidency, I sought over other roles and presented my leadership through the events we hosted, whether that be cultural events or fundraisers.
Working as a member of PA'a's street team and an intern of this year's current public relations chair, these positions have developed my communication skills, especially with event directors. I have assisted for events such as Barrio, PCN, PGrad, Night Market, and Kamayan. I also have experience with ASUCM's digital team, taking photos for events like the Ice Cream Social and presidential debates. Working with ASUCM has also developed better collaboration with fellow team members.
Upon joining PA'a, I was part of the Filipino club at my high school. This made me want to expand our Filipino culture, not only within the UC Merced community, but with others who surround us. I want to be able to help people find themselves through this club, whether it is through the flyers I make or the photos I take. Through the candid photos that I capture, I hope the people can look back at the moments we cherish forever.
As a photographer, I want to be able to spotlight the moments that have made me feel welcome personally and showcase them to both current and potential incoming members. Whether it's through our CMCDs, events, or just the little moments in between, I want to show everyone what it truly means to be a part of PA'a. The feeling of accomplishment that this gives me is what makes me truly passionate about photography. When I pick up my camera, I remember how many cherished moments I can save with a click of a button and share this moment with other people. It makes me realize how important the art of photography is to preserve not only the visuals of said moment, but the memories and emotions associated with it.
For our goal through Street Team, we want to have shot lists prepared before every event while also allowing creative liberty. PR is not just about posting, but building that connection with the viewer to our club.
We also want to push Street Team to become more of an organized and developed team with set roles and goals that can cover all the photos we need. It's a problem I currently face while taking photos, as I can't be everywhere at once. So promoting and utilizing Street Team will lead to a better union and in turn a bigger selection of photos.
Maraming salamat.
Somakom Tromiplia.
Thank you very much.
I motion to move into questions. Your first question is presented by your current chair of public relations, Madison.
Hello guys, I'm very proud of you. Very happy to see my friends both have come. So as for my question, as many of us know and through your presentation, both of your passion for PR lies in photography. That being said, how do you split responsibilities between the two of you without creating too many overlaps or gaps?
As for responsibilities, we know that PR makes flyers and takes photos. I feel as though that we're both very knowledgeable in taking photos for these events, as we have shown you. But I've also, sorry, I'm blinking. I've worked with digital team for ASUCM and working under all of these interning curriculums for making flyers and such. Sorry.
And I know personally, like Debris demonstrated that we both are very good at taking photos, but I know I lack in terms of graphics, and I'm trying to ensure I work on that and also make sure I don't burden Bree with my lack of development in terms of the graphics department. What's the question?
What's one strength and one weakness you guys see in each other as clothes, and how do you plan on enhancing that strength within each other, and how can we be in distress in that because you recognize each other as well?
One weakness for me is that I would say I'm a perfectionist. So when I am working on those graphic designs, it does take me a while to make things look the way that I want to because I hold a standard for myself. But I would also say that that's a strength because it shows that I'm detail oriented and I care about what I want to present to others.
I think a weakness I see in myself is I definitely am not a very serious person. I get very lax in terms of like professional work, and I know it's something I need to work on. But a strength I also see is that I think because of the fact I'm also able to stay very relaxed during events and be able to get the photos I want. But I do need to work on like how I talk with people.
I love both of you. So proud of you. So my question is, in the past, I used to sell new merch to members, and that's why we have this certain size question in our checking forms. Do you plan on re-implementing this, and if so, do you have any other ideas for merch you'd like to design or sell?
Yes, thank you for that question. I noticed that we've had the same shirt for the past few years now, and I wanted to implement having other merch as like having tote bags or like other like clothing like jackets and such. I would have to work on Quest for like a new design for that. Also, if there was like a new theme for like that relates to PCN so that it can build up and relate to the big event.
Good job to both of you. Really good speech. I like the presentation too. This is from last year. Question for both of you. As you may have observed, PR is a position with a heavy workload, especially with y'all two being STEM majors. How do you plan on splitting the heavy workload of PR, and how will you ensure that both of you are pulling your weight for this position?
I definitely think it begins with developing an organized schedule and making sure you have set times for everything. I personally have already kind of set this aside for myself. I set a lot of time for me to study as well as work on my responsibility as an intern. And I really think it's just about staying consistent and ensuring that both people feel like they're putting in the work they need to put in.
Yes, I agree with Quest said. I feel like we both already established like a separate time for things that we need to do for PA'a. And like specifically, we would have like an extra meeting other than CAB to work on flyers or anything else we would have to work on.
Hi. Okay, so as we looked over both of your guys' backgrounds, we could see you both have great experience with graphics, photography, and some experience with filming, which is awesome. However, one key part of this role is editing major videos like the modern music video and the video for friendship games. So I want to ask, what is your plan for ensuring these projects meet the standards our audience expects?
I personally am also lacking in terms of editing, but it's definitely something I need to work on over the summer, and an interest I kind of already been interested in. I think it starts with just me and Bree having to experiment and actually starting to record, and then from there to develop our own editing style and eventually branch out to doing the important videos like modern music video. But I think at first we just need to start with the little projects and actually like try to develop experience.
Yes, I personally dabbled in videography, and we were planning to film like little short films over the summer to see how, like, to learn and develop those skills for videography.
Hi friends. I'm not sure if it's already asked, but I'm asking anyway. If there was ever a point where you guys have had a moment where you butt heads, how would either of you either approach or resolve that conflict?
I think it's just coming to a compromise, like talking about our visions for said projects and see where we overlap or where we clash, and what can we implement from each side to make it both something that we want.
I agree with what Bree said, and it's very important for us to come to a compromise, as PR does have deadlines every week when it comes to flyers or making posters for events. So it's more like we have to come to a compromise over time, and I think that just will come with us working together and learning what we want from each other.
You guys are going to be working with a very large cabinet, and you're working with them in a professional capacity. You're not necessarily working where you guys can really dally, and it can be hard to draw the line when you're getting an abundance of requests for last-minute flyers. How confident, both of you, this question's for both of you, sorry. How confident are you guys in your ability to put your foot down when you want to hold other cabinet members accountable and submitting requests in a timely manner for your guys' schedule?
If I'm going to be honest, I'm not very good at putting my foot down. I'm not going to lie, but it's definitely something that I need to work on. I definitely know my limits, especially because I do put my academics first. So when it comes to putting my foot down, I think when it comes to the point where my grades start slipping and I don't have enough time to provide myself to study for my exams is when I'm going to put my foot down and tell them I don't have the time for this.
This was towards CAB and what we needed from them. Was that correct?
It's how confident are you in your ability to communicate with cabinet?
I think it's just understanding our work styles and how we can communicate to CAB how we work, whether that be a reminder a week before or just something to keep us on track.
Hi, you mentioned a structure for street team. What exactly does this look like?
So for street team, I want to expand because in my personal opinion, I feel like street team is underutilized as it's not promoted very much, and really only me and Bree shoot photos for these events. So I definitely want to start by expanding and getting new members who can shoot photos. And then when our team expands enough, I want to be able to get a shot list from each CMCD or event coordinator to see what exactly they want and position each photographer in a way where we can get group photos, single action photos, just everything that we need.
Hello. Well, congrats you two on running together. I'm really proud of both of you. I have a lot of questions, but one question that I can think of right now. How do you two plan on handling social media, so specifically the UCM PA account? Because there's always a lot of inquiries, a lot of texts from different organizations and so on and so forth. How's that going to look like with your communicating the information from there and into your cab? Yeah, something like that.
I think it starts, a good way to start being efficient, I think I feel to communicate how other, messages from other orgs, it starts with building a very organized, spreadsheet or doc to summarize what each org is asking of us and communicating that with CAB through meetings. And for, sorry, what was the other part of your question? Was there another part of your question, or was that all?
These questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Was it also on organizing the page and the different events, or?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I guess I could just if there's a mistake that you discovered later on, how do you plan on? What are your plans on going about fixing a mistake that you made, let's say on a caption or a flyer?
I think first the first step is to first delete the post or fix the post and then taking accountability if you did offend. I think as PR, we do have to accept the fact that when we do mess up, we have to take accountability for it and apologize, and then show how we won't repeat the step or make sure it doesn't happen again.
My other question for you is, what was your moment that drew you to do PR?
I think my pa moment started even before I came to UC Merced. When I was still in high school, I would attend like Barrio and PCN. And I think shooting for those events, like while I was with my family, made me realize that I want to share this with other people. Like I want to share what I've captured in those moments and those raw emotions that I was able to convey through my photos. So I think that was my pa moment for being PR.
I think for me personally, my pa'a moment also started before coming here. Well, not specifically with pa'a because I wasn't here yet, but I always originally started off photography without wanting to share it and kind of just keeping it to myself until someone eventually complimented me. I realized that it feels nice when someone acknowledges your work. So when I came here and saw how many people acknowledged my photos, it kind of just pushed me to do more and show and spread this feeling and bite the photos I take.
Hello guys, really proud of you for winning together and you guys had a great speech. My question for you is, social media is probably PA's biggest method of reaching out to new members and communicating new information. We all know that PR is heavily involved with photography, videography, and making flyers and advertisements. But have you guys considered any ways for us to expand our social media presence beyond what it already has been?
In my personal opinion, I think our social media is actually underutilized. Of course, we do post flyers and stuff, but we don't ever really post events, like the actual events we go to, like the photos we take. And I feel like it's to start spreading these events more. It should be less oriented to just posting flyers, but actually like what is PA'a doing, the events we like actually partake in and organize. I also believe we should start on other social media platforms. I know that we currently do not have it, or at least not use a TikTok. I'm not sure if that's true, but I know that our main method is Instagram, so I think we should expand beyond just using Instagram.
Adding on to Kwest, I think showing the recaps of events really gets people excited to see what is actually happening during said events, like seeing how people enjoy these certain events and such. And also, other than social media, I think word of mouth is a pretty good way to outreach because you're talking to someone personally and you can explain to them or show them how PA'a is great and how you would outreach and such.
Hello, it's me again. During my time as PR, I experienced a lot of equipment failure, whether it is I had stuff that got deleted, or my camera failed, or I ran out of storage, so on and so forth. What are your plans to combat equipment failure?
I think the first step to combating equipment failure is to have backups in the first place. Like for me personally, I have multiple hard drives storing my current photos. And I think implementing this within... I think implementing this in the first place, especially within PR and getting maybe other members that are especially part of street team to back up their photos is the first step to take. And about like live equipment failure, I think having backup equipment, although that's probably not the most, although it might not be available for everyone, I think for me personally, I have backup equipment and I make sure everything's working properly before the event. I also think we should have a checklist before each event to make sure that we have batteries are charged, cameras are working, everything's set up. So I think the main thing is just staying organized, making sure, and being on top of everything.
Yes, I also personally have backup SD cards and I always keep my charger on me. But if it does come to the event where a camera really doesn't work, I feel like we can still use our phones as a camera to capture the moment. And instead of wasting time on trying to fix the camera while missing the shots, you can still use your phone to take photos or with whatever you need.
Hello. For both of you, while PAW moves towards being a space for open conversation, especially towards political struggles, how do you plan to approach sharing or engaging with political topics on the Instagram account? And how will you balance encouraging dialogue and representing the organization responsibly?
I think in terms of the political side of the club, we are inherently a political club because we are a cultural club. So we do have certain stances on certain political opinions. And in terms of voicing our opinion out, I feel as if we shouldn't be so we shouldn't be so hard, very, I feel, politically aligned, but we should be able to voice our opinions, especially when it comes to injustices, especially those that are degrading human life. I think that's when us as a club should speak out, because we have the ability to spread our opinion because we are a pretty good big club on campus. We have enough a voice, and especially as a group, to voice out, I guess, injustices that we see. Because I believe that everyone, whether it's right or left or whatever political alignment it is, you should always voice out your opinion on injustices. It's not a political question at that point. It's whether you're a good human being.
Yes, I agree. I agree with what Kwest is saying, that since we do have a platform and we are able to help speak out for the people, I believe that we should use it and utilize it to voice our opinions, not really in the political sense, but in the way where we can speak for the voices unheard.
Just go. What have you noticed from this current cabinet, and how will that influence your experience in cabinet, if at all?
What do you mean by notice?
Things like certain things like cabinet, certain behaviors that cabinet have. What have you noticed about the behavior, and how does that influence you in cabinet?
I think I've realized that our cabinet is, although we are serious when it does matter, they are also very kind of goofy at moments. And I think it does influence me at certain times because I start acting out, not gonna lie. But that's just one thing I've noticed. And I think that's the main thing that will affect me, is just not taking things seriously sometimes.
I noticed that this cabinet is really close-knit, and I find that a positive because me personally, working with more close-knit quarters, we're able to better work together and elaborate on each other easier.
How do you plan on using cabinet meetings to effectively create a team environment beyond just giving personal updates?
And I'm sorry, but that's
Oh, never
time.
mind.